Welcome back to the Marching Arts Network. We're still in the podcast mode here. We're all still here.
And we're still the same clothes.
Still the same clothing, still the same everything, still the same day, actually. It's just a little bit after the podcast. So if you have not seen that, go back and watch it. It's going to be up in the corner. We needed to do the supplemental because we talked a lot about cadets, and it went really long, and it was great conversation. So you guys will see that. It's going to be anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour, hopefully, but we'll see.
Yeah. Basically, what he's saying is we yammered on too long, so now we got to do the reaction to 2023. So this will be a slightly shorter video because all of us have things to do, and this is a one take. So go.
Let's go ahead and get started here. I'm going to go and share my screen. This is for you.
Seriously, I heard it finally.
More cowbell.
That is a lot. That is a lot of cowbell. No, cock block.
Hey, look, it's the S curves that we used in '92. All right, so where's this ballad at?
322, or right there. Go back just a touch. Okay, ballad's amazing. Jonathan.
Jen wanted to watch the ballad.
I did. Yes, it's just such a great storytelling element, and it's such a heart pull. It's a heart tug. This is the right level of pantomime. This beautiful coming of age. And I just, it's so sweet because it's like this little boy being left behind while all of his friends grow up and move on to other things. And he's always the kind of trying to figure it out and keep up with them.
Well, if they had Gawk Block in it, he'd be able to keep up.
And then, like, they come back and he gets together, but then he realizes, no, they're doing something different. Oh, here come the girls. Oh.
All right, let's move on.
Oh, no, man. At the end, I will say he gets the dance move and he gets the girls. So go back and watch it. If you've never seen 91 Cadets, go back and watch that ballad because it's absolutely stunning.
Okay. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's lovely. I do remember seeing it because I was there. So,
I'm telling the audience, telling all of our watchers.
Tell the audience how beautiful it was. It was gorgeous. that show for me was...
Our so nearly 2,000 subscribers. Come on, let's get over that.
I know. We're almost at number. So, Jen, we're almost at 2,000 subscribers, which is
awesome.
Great. You know, I'd be happy if we're at 200,000. That'd be great too. So let's do that. All right. So we're gonna watch the 2023 show Atlas. Everybody has been talking about. I mean, we're gonna here. I'll start playing it because there's quite a bit here pre-show. Their uniform was interesting.
Divisive.
Yeah. Please welcome to the field from Erie, Pennsylvania.
I hated it at first.
The Cadets.
And then I understood how it fit with the show.
Yes. And the other thing, they started out without having socks on, and so you had this wonderful gap between their leggings and their shoes, and it glaringly showed every phasing.
Drum Major Kat Yang is your core ready.
They got really smart and put those socks on, and it cleaned up their scores a ton.
But yeah, I mean, obviously it's not the traditional uniform, but it still clearly is the Cadets.
Yeah.
Performing their 2023 program, Atlas Rising.
I can imagine doing that starting.
The Cadets.
Yeah, you're right. We're going to start with a plank into push-ups.
Between two different tellings of the story.
Visually, it's a cool shape.
First, he leads a rebellion against Olympus and is then sentenced to hold the heavens on his shoulders for eternity. In the second story, he is chosen to be the guardian of the pillars that hold up the earth and sky.
One thing I'll say about Cadets is they work their color palettes so well. Whether it's these muted pastels they've done in the past or this bright yellow, they always use their colors so well.
Go ahead.
Go on.
I was gonna say I never really understood their movable props. I never really got that, like how it had anything to do with the show. But
I don't ever deep dive into what the prop means of the show as much as how do they use it.
Yeah, I mean, they do take a pole out at one point, but that's pretty much it. They move them.
I like the shapes of them. I like the shapes they make.
Really good sound.
That's great brass ensemble sound. But that percussion, man, that battery is ramming some notes.
Yeah. I don't know anything about percussion, but I heard a lot of people talk about that was a decent percussion line that year. They got a lot
They're
of props.
super clean.
Strength comes from an indomitable will.
That's clean.
They're almost doing triple tonguing.
Yeah.
This whole thing here, the color guard is doing work almost at halftime to what the horn line is doing. And I just appreciate the fact that they're not just trying to ram choreography into the beats, but they're really just enjoying the musicality of the moment.
And the thing is, you've actually nailed something that I've always kind of thought is that modern color guard is all about expressing the visual aspect of the music. It's not just ramming work for the sake of work.
Go back and watch color guards in the aughts. All they did was ram work into beats. It's just it's hard.
How can just one be charged with such a burden? How can just one be responsible for all this?
Ooh, nice. I mean, the props do create a stage.
Yeah.
So I guess that's kind of what their intent was.
We are immortal.
They're just taking the poles out right there.
Yeah.
Can we stop for a second, just appreciate the tone quality of her?
Yeah, and I was noticing like on the horn here, that's the
That's the
audio
mic
pack.
Yeah.
But that would really severely affect the vibration of the instrument. So I'm wondering, like she's having to push harder.
I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think it would actually make that much difference.
Yeah,
So, by the way, do you like her tone quality, by the way, Justin?
Yeah, I do like the tone quality.
Yeah, great concert instrument, isn't it?
They're all concert
There's some story. There's some story about this is the flugelhorn, right?
It's a cornet.
It's a cornet. That's right. That's right. There's some story about this cornet, like it was gifted from an alumni or something like that. There's some story about it, and I can't remember what it was, but maybe it was a featured instrument in a previous cadet show or something. So, but there's something there. I can't remember exactly.
For me, this one here, it's just a case of this is one of the few times that I just kind of like stood up and went, "Wow, listen to that tone quality."
Gorgeous ballad.
I think part of it is that she is mic'd too, so it's going through the mix as well, so that's helping a lot. I'm not saying her tone quality is not good, but you can hear it's balanced within the ensemble. You know what I mean? It's not like sticking out. So that does help a lot.
Not that it matters, but a lot of female soloists in the last few years I've noticed as well.
Guard's really clean.
That color guard. They were so good, so musical, and so athletic. It's just a great ballad. It's just one of the great ballads.
Ooh, nice.
If you think it will be easy,
The one thing that really bothered me when I was at Indianapolis
you will be disappointed.
is, first off, it echoes like crazy. You can't really hear that here. But as a listener, when you're in the stadium, it's just like echoes.
Yeah.
So that's really a problem.
I've discovered that if I'm up in the 400s, it actually sounds really good. Everywhere else, especially if you're outside of the 40s, it's kind of a hot mess.
And that makes it hard for them because, like, the drum course can't play loud.
No.
They can only play to a certain volume level. If they play any higher, it's just going to blast out everything. And that's the
Come
problem.
on, basses. Lot to be said as well for musically an 80-yard spread there.
Which cadets do a lot in their history.
Yeah.
So some things to watch out for, especially when you get into the closer of this show, is that they actually formed the Garfield Cadets logo, the Cadets logo as well as in there. And I think there's a Z-pull or something like that in there as well, but there's definitely a Garfield Cadets logo in there.
I love that they had the holy name patches on this.
Yeah.
Isolated hits, man. Nice.
The weight of the world.
Love this part of the show.
Yeah, it's not my favorite. And only because of the equipment. I find pike pulls to be very not visual and not effective. And they're doing a great job using them as a component to build Atlas. But they're hard to clean and they're hard to be creative with.
They're kind of hard to see, too.
They're hard to see, especially in Lucas.
Well, I think those are copper colored, right?
Yeah. So yay, they stay with their color palette. But I mean, it goes back to Star 93, Phantom 96. Whenever anybody brings out these pikes, they lose me.
Well, I think what's hard to see is because they're wearing gold, kind of a gold uniform, and that's a gold prop or copper colored prop. I mean, you can kind of see it there, but it's not.
It doesn't matter. It's just never visual.
Yeah.
I still like it.
Well, what they did with it was effective. In the end, piling them on Atlas, and it tells the story.
There we go, another dissolving form. Nice guard. Sabers were fire
good.
there.
Yeah.
So watch for the Cadets of Bergen County logo in here in a second. Be down on the number 1 side. It's very subtle. Super clean. There it is.
Oh yeah, there it is.
It was really quick.
That's
Yeah,
subtle.
super quick, super subtle. There's your Cadets logo as well.
See that one.
Like the lead trumpets over the top.
Together we rise.
So fast, this closure.
Look at the rotating circles.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, that's really good.
Very cool. That was a good show. That was a solid show.
I remember my thoughts on this show were, I thought, oh my God, the cadets are back. You know? And I thought that take away the showcase show that they did in 21, you know, where the non-judged year. It was, to me, it was the most cadets show that they've had in the last 20 years. And I remember thinking to myself, oh my God, they're back. And that's what makes it hurt so much more that they're gone.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was watching the end.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what kills me. And I suspect that there must have been people at Cadets that knew that was the end.
There was a lot of sea changes that were starting to happen going into the 2020 year that didn't happen, you know, and this speaks to volumes for a lot of corps. This was happening at Phantom Regiment as well, you know, where you had a lot of staffs that were starting to come back. Like they had brought at Cadets, they brought April back and all this stuff because they realized that they had to rebuild on what they had. Like they had slipped, you know, and so they brought back some really key players. And 2020 obviously didn't happen. 2021 was such a great way to say, hey, we are coming back. We had an entire year off to think about this. This is what we're doing. And this is how we bring our legacy back. And to have it go that direction, especially from a color guard standpoint, I watch 21, 22, 23, and I see the old philosophy of Cadets Guard. As far as their movement and how they're informed. But to lose that at this point when we had gotten so much back from them and they were rebuilding and they were competitively sound, you know, we'll never get to see what would happen in the next few years. That top 6 is a tough nut to crack, you know?
Yeah.
And so, you know, what did they call? They came in 6th or no, that was Mandarins, Cadets.
Yeah, 5th.
They got 5th.
They got fifth. Okay, so I forget. So to stay up there and stay that competitive, would they have gone top 4? You know, who knows? I think so. I mean, I think that you know, we hear the term destination corps, and being a destination corps is such a big deal now. So, you know, you look at the corps like, for instance, the Mandarins, they have become a destination corps. JW says otherwise, but you know, I think he's just being a little bit
modest,
humble, a little bit modest, a little bit humble. You know, they are very much so a destination corps. Phantom Regiment has become a destination corps again.
The winning corps, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But no, the place where I've got 1 year to march, where do I go? You know, and let's be honest, you know, Phantom Regiment was quickly falling away from being that destination corps.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and sure. I look at what was the year you guys did the singing at the end.
19.
Yes. So I look at that show and I remember thinking to myself, I remember thinking halfway through the season, oh my God, Phantom Regiment's not going to make finals, you know? And let's be honest, they probably weren't, you know?
This is another show.
Justin, this could be a whole different episode. Or maybe this is an episode.
For reasons you all know, that I spent the entire summer that you're breathing into a paper bag.
Maybe this is an episode for you and me, Jen. Yeah, but right? I look at that particular show and I think to myself that they made finals because the kids were like, we're the goddamn Phantom Regiment. We make finals.
Yeah.
They didn't make finals because of that show. And I think that going back to Cadets, I think that there was a couple of years with Cadets which were pretty sketchy, you know, as far as being competitive.
2019 was a rough year for them. 2019
Yeah.
was a rough year for Regiment, and both organizations went, we have to do something, and they
for
changed.
different.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was for different reasons. Obviously, Regiment. It was a completely different reason because you didn't have He Who Shall Not Be Named on this channel.
Well, 2019 Cadets came in what, 10th? That's not far above 12th. Okay.
Exactly. But the point being is that there was so much damage done there, and I don't know. I can easily digress into a completely different topic here, but
let's just celebrate the Cadets.
I just want to celebrate the Cadets and say that I'm glad that if that was the end, that's how it ended.
Yeah, and I honestly think, I agree. I think that's a very Cadets show. Mm-hmm. That's a very Cadets show. If you were to go, what is a Cadets show? It'd be that one. I don't think it would be The Zone 2005. That was a really off-the-wall show.
Everybody did weird shows that year, though. Was that the same year that Blue Devils did Dance Party of the Century as well?
I think.
Or was it the Summer Blues? I think it was.
No, Summer Train Blues Mix was a great show, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, look that up real quick. But but I mean, it has the Cadet sound.
Sorry, even worse. 2005 Dance Derby of the Century. Yowza!
That's a show that was actually taken from a Winter Guard. That was a Winter Guard show that they converted into a drum corps show, I believe.
I love the Blue Devils, but that show was awful.
Yeah,
there's a reason why I slept through the aughts. There's a lot of weird shows.
All right, everybody. Well, tell us what you guys thought in the comments below. It's sad. It's truly sad. Almost 90 years in existence, and it's gone. Yeah. Right? Just. And I knew it was. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the fact that we left so many in the other episode, the previous episode, the fact that we could only we could have watched every single show they did, with the exception of a handful of shows, they impacted every year they competed, and so I mean it's just to go say to lose that is just.
So for those who haven't seen the video, and I'm sure Justin through the magic of editing might put it somewhere up here somewhere.
It'll be up in the corner.
Yeah. So obviously you guys know that I did the 2-part series based on the top 12 of the 26 corps that have competed in finals that no longer exist. And what I did for that was I created a scoring system that took all opinion out of the equation and it just measured historical impact. And the second place corps in that poll was the 27th Lancers, that scored like 172.
Something like that.
The Cadets scored 968 in that same scoring system. That's how much of a giant hole is left. I don't think people realize how big of a deal the Cadets not being here really, really is.
I would like to give people the benefit of that. I think people do realize how impactful this is. I think that take the politics out of it. I think that people are really feeling this one. People realize that losing the Cadets is a big freaking deal.
Yeah.
It is. It just shows how fragile the activity really is.
It really is. Yeah.
It's very fragile. I mean, you think any shoe could drop anywhere and just don't know. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And thanks for Jen for coming on for this episode. It was really cool. It's always good to get a different perspective, a different person's opinions on things. So thank you very much. And like I said, on the previous, make sure you guys visit our community page. Make sure you support this channel. We really would appreciate it. Go to the store. We have new merchandise on there. Some great things. You're probably going to see a video montage right now of it through the magic of editing. But please make sure you go and help support this channel so that we can continue to provide this entertainment for you. So we really do appreciate that. So thanks so much. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
British swear word of the day.
Oh, British swear word of the day. I almost forgot. Go ahead.
And now the British swear word of the day by the Tumour.
Right. So today's British swear word of the day is bloody.
Oldie but a goodie.
It's an oldie but a goodie. It's an adverb. It's an intensifier popularly used in the phrase bloody hell. Very common. It's just a medium strength one. This was a short episode, so I'll just keep it kind of small. So today's British swear word of the day is bloody. You can go back and review the previous swear words that I've done as well. We've had wanker. You can say bloody wanker. That's a great one. Okay. So go forth and use the education that I'm providing you. That is today's British swear word of the day.
Well done.
Make sure you subscribe and all that stuff.
Yes.
And that was the British swear word of the day.
How many likes do we need? How many subscribers do we need to get Kanan
2,000.
and 2,000. All right.
2,000 likes. We got to get 2,000 likes. Come on now. Let's do it.
Tell you what. If we get 5,000 likes, I'll do the podcast in a Borat onesie.
Oh my
God.
gosh! Stop.
No thanks.
I'll do it in the Matkini.
Make sure you
Lime
Brazilian wax
green.
first.
Lime green.
All right.
Blend in your background.
Now we're going to end on that. Thank you guys for joining us.
All
I
right.
think
March on.
March
March
on.
on.
Bye everyone.
See you later.